Hi there from Cat News. This is Madeline Coe, and welcome once more to our nightly show. Due to popular demand and raging reviews, we will be continuing our special time travel edition. But where are we going this time, you might ask? Well, tonight we will be visiting China and Latin America from the 1920s and 30s. Our reporters will be meeting with presidents, peasants, politicians, and more. Once more, our intrepid reporters will be traveling through time to meet famous leaders and report on riveting events that occurred during this tumultuous time. Reporter Turley, would you kick us off?
I, Chiang Kai-shek, challenge you, Mao Zedong, to a ping pong battle. I'm turning my forces against Mao's stronghold in the Jiangxi province. Joke's on you, Ching. I used to work methods. I'll try anyways. It's not like you have 4 methods that perfectly describe your plans or anything. Because if you did, the communists would undoubtedly win and I would lose my job. Number 1! If the enemies retreat, we advance! When the enemies advance, we attack. Last slogan. When the enemy retreats, we pursue. And now, with that very interesting showdown from the leaders of the nationalists and the communists attempting to control China, that is the end of our segment. Back to you, Madeline.
Thank you, Reporter Turley. It seems as though Chiang Kai-shek had some serious influence over the Chinese population. Now, moving on to our reporter Zori. What can you tell us about New China and the Long March?
Thank you, Miss Coe. Here we are at the very real scene of the Long March in northern China, where we will be interviewing Mao Zedong, as Ms. Turley previously introduced. Mao here. We just walked through nationalist lines. We're marching through China. Okay. We're on mile 5,900 out of 6,000.
Whoa.
We're going strong. We're going to control China.
I bet, yeah.
Now, we have no food. We have no water. We have to eat horses. Do something, please. My toes, they're freezing. My toes. I'm hungry, Mao. Give us food, please. Mao, come on. Come on, man. Grab me some food.
Mao, do you believe your army can make it through this massive challenge? Absolutely. There is no doubt in my mind that we will make it. Our army is strong and valiant, and we will succeed in this endeavor.
1 year later, 9,000 out of the 90,000 troops survived.
After this massive victory, I declare myself the leader of Communist China until the very day I die.
So, what are you doing here, Mr. Chiang Kai-shek?
I'm building a new nation and a new Nanjing government.
Wow.
One based on the plans of my idol and my everything, Sun Yat-sen.
Huh. Passionate, I see. So, what changes do you hope to be implementing?
Some of the changes I will be implementing consist of preparing the public for a constitutional government, road building and railroad repair, as well as a national bank and education.
Wow, I'm really happy about your success, but what are some negative obstacles you've encountered along the way?
It's so hard to appeal Western values to conservative traditional people, and I do not support anything like wealth distribution or anything like that.
Oh no. Why don't you support wealth distribution?
Many of my workers come from the urban middle class, and none of them support land reforms. We want to keep them right where they are.
Wow, thank you so much for your wise information, Chiang Kai-shek. We have learned tons. Now, back to you, Madeline.
Who is Madeline?
And with that, thank you to reporters Turley and Hungry Man. We will now be traveling with reporter Paula to Latin America, where she will be discussing important matters with the president of the time. Take it away, Paula.
Good evening, everyone. I'm at the airport right now about to catch a flight to Mexico City. I will also be visiting Argentina later. I will cover authoritarianism and its effects in these countries. As a little background, Brazil and Argentina are majorly controlled by small groups of church leaders, military officers, and large landowners. With the need of the military to maintain such a structure for control, they are intervening in the sphere of power. In Mexico, we'll see a distinct situation that includes a stronger force towards reconstruction, but still certain hints of authoritarianism. And well, about to catch my plane. See you later.
Hello everyone, I'm in Mexico City. I am in the Zócalo, right in front of the National Palace, where I will be interviewing Lázaro Cárdenas, who is the current president of Mexico. He is also a member of the PRI, which is the official party of the Mexican Revolution, which really controls everything here. I think I have time for this.
Un momento, por favor. Aquí.
Plato?
Un hielero, señorita, por favor. Please. Gracias.
I think the president's gonna have to wait a little more.
A few moments later.
Good evening, Mr. Cardenas. It is a pleasure to see you here and conduct this interview.
Un placer.
This will be quite brief. May I ask you, what have been your actions in this presidential term towards the recovery of peasants from a time of estates and concentrated power?
Well, just like our mission during the revolution, for the past years, we have worked towards giving land to the landless peasants that lost it to the rich, who set up huge estates where the peasants had to work with little or no pay and in deplorable conditions. We're seeing more equal living standards due to this.
Great. Also, I have heard about the situation with Mexico's oil reserves. How have you acted since the US and Britain began to invest in the oil industry here in Mexico?
We had a dispute over worker wages, and I decided to get control of the oil field and country part of Mexico. Thankfully, Roosevelt didn't intervene due to the good neighbor policy.
Those are all the questions I have for you today. Thank you, President.
Hello, I'm back. I'm now in Buenos Aires, where I will be interviewing a working class woman named Manuela Flores, who has experienced various power shifts here in the country and is here to tell us what it has been like.
Thank you, Colette Palette, for the tour. Now, moving along, we will have our final section. Take it away.
Manuela's here.
Buen dia, buen dia.
Hello, Manuela. I hope you're doing well.
I am, thank you.
My first question for you in this interview is going to be what kind of political reforms, what kind of political shifts did you witness and experience here in Argentina as a teen or just in your youth? I know that Argentina has been an oligarchy for a long time, but I would really like to know the specifics of what you've seen.
Okay, so when I was younger, the lower class, the wealthy landowners didn't really care much about them, right? And in 1890, the Radical Party took over the control and took over the election of President Irigoyen. And so there's the industrial workers, the Radical Party, and also the military. They feared an uprising from the industrial class. And so they decided to overthrow the president and restore order to how it had been originally.
That's quite some change. The next question that I have for you is, what kind of future do you think Argentina will face in the next years? Do you think that the nation is going to be able to go back to stability, to a balance between the social classes?
So I may have heard of a small military uprising in the military. It's called the Group of United Officers, and it may not have a lot of power now, but I do believe possibly in the later future it has the ability to restore the lower class and restore stability to Argentina.
Okay, Manuela, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for having me on this lovely newscast.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And that, folks, is the conclusion of tonight's special edition of Cat News. I would like to thank all of our fantastic reporters who braved the dangers of the past and presented to us life as it was in the 1920s and 1930s. Thank you, and have a good night.